Welcome back. Greetings. Once again, it's Chance, it's PC. Our apologies. We seem to be having issues with the internet, and I'm hoping that you guys can hear me very clear. Please say something in the comments so I know that this stream is clear of um, interjections or, I don't know what is happening, but I thought I had the best Wi-Fi in the world. As it happens, I don't think so. Anyway, we were discussing, and I'm hoping Bishop Shanks is going to join me very soon. I've sent him a new link. This is a new link. Once again, apologies if you're following in the first one. Thank you. Thank you. I'm loud and clear very well. Thank you very much. So if you can share that broadcast with somebody, on your wall or in a group, because we lost the first stream. Definitely, we've lost some people, and whether they know I've created a new one, I don't know. But welcome back. Like I said, we were discussing issues surrounding, especially we were talking about our leader and the kind of leadership that is actually showing so far. Which at the beginning of his tenure, we thought it was a bit of a weakness that he wasn't really whipping the people like we wanted it. Whipping them like, Dr. Lars, why are you not whipping these people, Dr. Lars? So there was a cry in from Malawians. Why is he not acting like he should? We demanded action, and somehow we got some action. And I was asking Bishop Shanks, are we satisfied? Can we say that we definitely have had some action? And we were just talking in line with that. Now, this is something else. I've got Minister Mahara in the house with me. Let me welcome the man of God from the USA.
Hey, apologies for having a mix-up. I thought it was 1 o'clock this side, and so I was just saying until Bishop sent me a message that you're, you're left out. So yeah, but
Yes.
apologies. Yeah.
No. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir. Chief, listen, we just began to talk about so far. I think we were kind of like analyzing, Dr. Lars's style of leadership, and so really and truly, we kind of like stretched at the beginning. So you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Now, that's what I was trying to say to the viewers. In fact, you know what happened is that I lost. For some reason my Wi-Fi seems to be playing up. So I don't know whether you can hear me without lagging at the minute.
No, I can hear you, but
can you hear me without lagging?
Your picture is the one that is lagging, but your voice is clear, loud and clear. You're good. You're okay for broadcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But I tell you, I can see it, because when the network begins to play up, it actually sees me, that sign that actually my network is going down for some reason. I do not know why.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a concern, but let's move on. Hoping that Bishop Shanks is going to join us straight away. Let me give you an opportunity also just to have a teeth into, the style of leadership Dr. Lars is showing, which at the beginning was considered to be a bit of a laid back, not quick enough to act. So I was asking Bishop Shanks, are you satisfied in the style of leadership that Dr. Lars is showing? What's your take so far with the actions that have happened?
Now, quite a mixed bag for me. I would say from the onset that if I would put things in the right perspective, I would say quite a mixed bag. I understand there are things that have been done, strides that have been accomplished, right? We have seen the access to information, being operational. What do you call this? Being operational, okay? And that shows that there's some sense of openness from the leadership. That is as far as they want to engage with the citizen, okay, as opposed to what we were used to in the previous regimes, right, with the previous regimes. But I think what has been the most concerning thing for most of us has not actually been that openness. We know every time this is a president who is able to face the people and say that I made a mistake, I'm walking back. Maybe let me try to reconstitute, or maybe let me do this. But I think one thing that has been worrying about the broad trait that the Tonse government and the leadership per se has been their procrastination, or their, what I usually call,
Right.
they are complacently ignorant on certain things. So I think they take things for granted, and the lack of proper consultation also is chewing so much into the type of leadership, because if they want to be that open, then they need to be willing to be open to consultation before they do actual acting. And so there have been quite concerning trends as well. At the same time, there have been some great strides that they've been making. So it's a mixed bag. Are you there, Pastor Chance? Pastor Chance.
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah. I
I'm
lost
here.
you. I lost you completely.
Did I?
Yeah, yeah. I lost you
So,
completely. I
like,
couldn't hear you.
I think what it is, like I said again, my internet is really bad, guys. I apologize. Hopefully, I can rectify. I don't know how I can rectify this but it's the same internet I've used for God knows when, since when. But it's playing up today for some reason.
Do you want to restart the stream altogether, like log
No,
out?
because I did. This is the second one, by the way.
Oh,
This
okay,
is second. Yeah.
okay.
So let's hope that it behaves
Yeah, yeah. So
itself.
I
Yeah.
was saying, I think if you heard what I was saying, because it seems like I lost you quite a bit. I say it's been a mixed bag for me. Okay,
No,
I would say,
I
yeah,
definitely picked up on that one where you spoke
okay,
about their complacency and kind of like
yes,
taking it for granted somehow.
yes, yes, yes,
Right.
and then the failure
So
to follow up
you're
on
talking about
their. I'm saying, the thing is with the Tonse, the way it was, they came high on this bar, right? They set up the
right.
bar so high for themselves with promises. So everything that we're going to be gauging the Tonse government will stem from that position of trying to follow back on what they have accomplished. These are flagship promises, campaign, uh, you know, promises that they gave Malawians, and that's why they're in government. They vibed us with this notion that they're going to bring this and change this and do this and accomplish this. Certain promises came within a certain timeline. Others did not come, and so we know that they have a 5-year mandate, but they
Mm,
gave us certain promises that were strict on the timeline. So we also want to make sure that the government of Dr. Laz has to keep their word, and so that's why I'm saying they've done certain things that are good, and I'm always appreciative. They have opened up things. That access to information bill itself was huge, because that's why now we have apparatuses, like Onjezani Kenan and Idris, Nessa, they are using the very same apparatuses, now to probe government into looking into certain things, even things that they thought previously they could conceal. Nowadays, the citizen is woke, so they cannot do that. So I want to give them props for that. But there are so many things that we're still waiting for
mm.
them to really like fulfill, or to give us a reason what's going on. Because right now, as it is, we don't know. It's just, so the leadership has been kind of very difficult to judge.
So the message is clear that surely there's certain parts where they've done well, but there's need for them to up the game based on what they promised us at the beginning. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's sanity. Let's not beat about the bush, okay? We're coming from this deep mediocrity. So now, for every Saint Malawian, we understand that we cannot fix something that took years of plunder. You can't fix it in 9 months, okay? But what we are demanding as citizens is that they have to be showing us in their budget statements. These are the things that it's a statement of intent with the people of Malawi. We need to see roadmaps to certain things. You said you're going to create 1 million jobs in 12 months. This is like what, 10th month. We haven't seen any roadmap. I was glad actually when I saw the new 3 things that the president has lined out, that this is going to be the focus of his government, which was bringing in the young people. You see, can you imagine 70% of the population of Malawi, they are young people aged from between 10 to 35, and then to have government that is so focused on people that are not, they can't understand the trends, they can't understand the digital world, they can't understand the new norms, and you want them to lead us in this 21st century. That was a little
Now,
worry.
Minister Mahara, just on that one, having said, the 70% is the young people, and somehow the government seems to be concentrating on the other side of it. What do you mean by that? I mean, what kind of things that the government is doing?
You see, if you really are interested in your people, right? You invest in the youth, you invest in the young people, you pass on. Either, we are not saying that we don't want those people that are experienced, and they bring in this metacognitive ability, they understand things with experience. We need them, but then we need also to have streams of incubatory processes. Bring the young people, proxy, right? You got to create apprenticeships. Bring these young people. These are 21, 23-year-old. If you say we need a 10-year-old experience, this is a child who's just getting out of college. It's smart. Where is he going to get the experience? So we were saying that the government should have looked into that, create avenues so that we can tap into the potential and the gifts that we have, the talents that our young people possesses. Because the world, whether we like it or not, we can't be normalizing mediocrity right now. We can't normalize useless things. Everybody in the world, look at Rwanda. They're going digital. They're going global, right? And then we can't be the only nation stuck with high internet cost. These actually are triggers. They point to the priorities of the government. See, in Tanzania, we had this lady president who just got in there. She found out that the internet providers wanted to create this, predatory system when it comes to internet bundle and all those things. By a means of executive order, she suspended everything. Why is it taking so much in Malawi for government to intervene on the behalf of the poor people with these predatory practices and conducts? Rich companies are still having an unfair portion, monopolizing the system in Malawi. So we're saying government can change this.
Right. Can you, somehow I think I lost you, but then if I may recap, you are giving an example of Rwanda and its speedy cleanup business that is happening over there, and the progress that we're seeing with Rwanda. So you're comparing with Malawi. Would from somebody who's looking probably in a different way that you are saying, surely it's only been just 10, 11 months. Would you not say we're moving at least?
No, that's why I say, if you want to convince me that we're moving, show me the roadmaps.
Right.
Show me the intentionality. Okay. In your budget statement, the first thing that I'll look at is your budget statement, because that's the statement of intent with the people.
Yeah.
It's what you're promising Malawians, that I'm going to move and I'm going to do this, whether I'm going to have intentional expenditure programs, whether I'm going to start this. We saw Hastings Banda, when he got into it, the first thing, he had this huge expenditure program. He created the M1. All right. That was job creation. He's showing you that he's serious about creating jobs. And now with what Felix Mulusu had released earlier on, it showed nothing that this government was serious. That's why most economists dubbed it a consumptive budget. It was only focusing on what we're going to be eating, but not what we're going to be producing. You see? So I'm saying we need seriousness on that level. And one of the ways to safeguard that is to open up internet. Internet is a right for an evolving nation. if we have these exorbitant rates and very predatory internet cost in Malawi, we are actually taking Malawians backward. We were talking about Rwanda right now, right? One of the things that Rwanda has done good is because they have connected Rwanda to the outside world. They compete, they have found space in the internet. Malawians, even if you look at our artists, our musicians, it's not like we don't have good arts. We have great and creative, massive artists. But if you go online, the biggest, who is like Namadingo, right? If you see him, his views are like what? 1 million. An artist of that caliber was supposed to be carrying like 12 million viewership. But because internet is so limiting in Malawi, so we can't position ourselves competitively in a digital world.
And so these, to some extent, I agree with you. I think in the today's world, you really cannot develop and do better without having to fix your internet costs and everything else, the speed of it.
Everything in this world runs on internet. Everything, medicine, education. I was actually trying, if I had the chance to interview Dr. Chilima, that's one thing that I want to ask him, because he promised, we're talking about even college intake, the way we're struggling with, intake into the universities, he had come up with this nuanced way of doing things, the one that he promised that he's going to use the cyber cable, the cyber optic cables. It means we would have limited the limitations of distance. Kids could still attend Chancellor College whilst they're in Zuzu, just like in real time. This is what is happening here. I've attended school here online, so I know how it is. It's almost like you are in class. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we are saying that medicine right now, it's all internet. We were talking of the COVID disaster here. Our technology, if it was able, we could have done contact tracing using telemedicine and all those good things. You know what I mean? So we still have to get into the digital space, and this government has to look into that issue. I played with Honorable Kazako. He is our champion. When he got into there was this election that he was going to change things. He was going to bring the data. There was that data must for campaign.
Must for,
we want those things to come, because it's not fair to have just only two tech companies monopolizing everything at the expense of Malawians.
In your view, it's fair to say that the roadmap somehow is hidden. We're playing a bit of a hide and seek a bit.
It's not like it's hidden. It's either the government is not sure of what they want to create. You see, it's two ways about it. If you have a plan, why do you have to hide it?
Why do you have to hide?
If you do not have a plan, just come out clean and say, we're trying to find out something. Maybe we are struggling here. You understand? So there are two ways. It's either the government is totally not sure of what they want to do, or
and also, right. Let me bring you back. Time is flying at the same time. Let me just bring you into this. One of the questions, or one of the things that I really want us to talk about is, do we have the right systems to root out corruption in our country? Do you think?
Systems can always be improved. Now, I've always said this: systems shouldn't be our biggest problem. Systems are never corrupt by themselves. Systems, it's about input and output, right? I'll give you an example. In 2020, Martha Jizuma, when she was the ombudsman, she issued a report. That's part of the system. That indicated that there was plunder, there was looting in the government, departments, right? And she gave exactly what we're talking about. This report, the 6.2 billion report, is showing. She said it in November. Monies were going into allowances. That was her report. She issued that report to the president. Now the question is, did we have the human capacity to follow up? Because part of the system was able to function well.
Right.
But if a system cannot be intact if there's nobody to input it with the right, things. So I would say systems need to be reworked. Sometimes some of our systems what I call the need to be overhauled. For example, like I'll say, the act that we use for COVID response, it's an old system. It's a 1948 pre-independence act. All right.
Right.
Definitely, it didn't put into consideration the things that we had to deal with this time around. Because when you look at that act, it didn't deal much about prevention and other things. It mainly worked into treating, and it was written for one referral hospital, which was Queens. Okay. Now, so the question is, we have had 3 or 4 governments out. Why didn't
In
they
and
look
out.
at that act? That's where I go back to that complacency argument. That sometimes Malawians, just like when the COVID was coming, everybody thought, oh, Malawians were somehow, God chosen. We're not going to be hit by this, and so there was that, procrastination and lapsing on some other things, and yeah. So systems, some of the systems can be changed, need to be changed or revised, but some of the
Having
systems are working.
having said something about Martha Chizuma, let's get to this one a little bit. The case of Martha Chizuma, who's now the SCB, confirmed the SCB
Mm,
director,
mm.
which was having quabbles at the beginning. First of all, disqualified, then afterwards qualified. Um, my question was: is this lack of, is it incompetence or some politics, dirty politics being played somewhere?
Absolutely incompetence, and we need to also see how our politics, there's so much gridlock in Parliament right now.
Right.
There's a high level absurdity in terms of how we can describe our politics. It's all about gridlock, dysfunction, and all those mediocrity. Because quite honestly, most of those that we have chosen, and this also goes to us as Malawians, we have to be asking ourselves serious questions as to whom we choose to represent us. Uh, because quite honestly, some of those people really didn't have any clue of whatever they're doing. They're just following somebody's directives on the top. So yeah, it was a sad scenario. But on the other side, you see, this thing also have another side, which we all have to be careful. It can lead into a slippery slope, right? Where things now, if we don't take care of the initial systems, we don't have to get into that position where by now we can be having parliament uh, for each and everything, changing the laws to suit that narrative or to suit that agenda in that particular moment. But I'm happy. For one, I was happy that Martha Chizuma was finally uh, confirmed as SCB director.
I was still struggling to hear you a little bit, but you spoke about you were happy. Can you repeat that statement? You were happy about
Yeah. I was saying, I was happy that Martha Chizuma
is
uh,
finally confirmed as the
finally
SCB director.
confirmed, yeah,
But
as SCB
again,
director.
I push you back to this. Some politics were happening, and somebody one show, I think it was the Hot Current. They're talking about there's some sabotage somehow in the Tonsi themselves.
Yeah,
1 minute.
oh,
Why do that? Here's my question: why do they have to wait for people's voicing? Remember when you remember when you had put out, when you had voiced out about, they are disqualifying Martha, and I remember saying,
mm,
watch, the voice of the people is going to put Martha back into that place.
yeah.
There we
No,
go. We have it.
you have to understand that the rabble that the president is talking about is also within the Tonse ranks. You know, yeah, the rabble that you're talking about in government is not only in the opposition. It's not only within the DPP. You have rabble within the Tonse alliance
Mm.
itself. So people are afraid. This is an iron
Ah,
lady, and so a lot of people are scared. So that was obvious that others were not comfortable even within the Tonse. Uh, they didn't want, because when you look at the numbers initially, and we argued this on Facebook and we talked about it, that the numbers were not making sense because DPP were only 6 people, but it was like 9 people that voted to disqualify Mr. Zuma. But one quick thing that I also wanted to talk about, I'll go back again, and I voted the majority whip when the president presented the name of Martha Chizuma. We all knew the name of Martha Chizuma will raise hell. It's more especially from the DPP side and others who were in the government. So there was need for somebody to be having coffee with somebody at that moment. There was need to have a good maneuver. The president submitted the name. So I would have expected the leadership and their caucus, to really start, moving things. People like Lillian Patel, we know they're sensible people. You can always talk sense into them. You can corner them. You can bring them on your side. But there was no effort at all that's why I said there's always this complacency. There's always this ignorance from the side of, from government, taking things for granted. Like, we got it. It's all right.
Like we got them.
Yeah.
We got them. And then,
Yeah.
they can't do us no harm.
Yes, you see.
And that was, but in a way, Mahara, in a way, I feel that it just presented or showed that Malawi now is responding to the power of those, the likes of yourself, just by the fact that you can write up there and everybody can come out on social media, blast it and says, we need our voice. People, then all of a sudden the MPs or whoever authorities are out there, they know they cannot play with the justice of Malawians now, isn't it?
Now, this is why I always, this is why I always have a soft spot for the president, okay? Because I think he has created a Malawi that now the citizen, okay, can take charge of their own affairs, their own plight. We can be in charge of our own destiny, So I feel like that I have to give it up. I have to give it to the president, that he has created this situation. We are in a new Malawi, totally. But we are saying there's more that we have to do, and we have to exude as collectively as we can. There has to be collective responsibility, and there have to be collective response. We saw Onjezani Kenan, mobilizing the whole nation for a cause. So Malawians are not a problem. Malawians are not a problem if you give them something that they can believe. If you give them a real cause and you explain certain things to the people will be, they'll be up in their game.
This is, in a way, then, do you know what? In a way, kind of like boosted the, the confidence now we have in the legal system, or if you like, in the justice system, that we have now somebody who we believe is going to act. We don't want the dormant cases that have been there to stay the same. We want action.
Yes,
So there's confidence built up now, isn't it?
Yeah, confidence. Martha Chizuma herself, stimulates this, activates this confidence, because we have seen how capable she is. But there's still a lot of things that I don't want to be just very confident yet.
Yeah, but we want to see the action side of it more.
We want to see the actions now. Okay, now she is the czar.
The chief.
Yeah, the chief. And then we're going to see, because there have been issues being raised from left and right, or maybe she's partisan, or maybe. So we want to see, is she going to be able to be going after the Tonse, hierarchy as well? Then we can take her serious.
Surely, I think
if it's going to be just business as usual, we're just going to, the DPP guys, then we know that it's witch hunt. But if she is going to be serving justice, this is when Martha Chizuma is going to prove herself to be the one, the sent one. You
Mm.
know? Yeah,
So,
but I believe she has the capacity. I believe she's good. But
so
until
much,
she
so
demonstrates.
much pressure hinging on our shoulder, isn't it? So
Yes.
much pressure. Um, what is the church? What is the response from the church? I'm thinking, what do we do as a church in terms of enforcing and being able, to some extent, because I remember that when Martha declared her faith, that was somehow, I believe that was somehow an issue.
No,
I
I
don't know.
mean, there's nothing. Of course, I mean, we are in a republic, so we are not in a theocracy. We are not in a caliphate. Okay,
Right.
so people usually get worried when an official in that high ranking, they want to use that. There has to be separation of certain things, but we can also embrace each other's faith. Somebody shouldn't be afraid to declare uh, you know, that they believe in Jesus or in Muhammad or uh, in, in Buddha. It's their thing. But as for the church, we know that the Bible says that we are the light to a dying world. We are the salt, and what we do is what we are doing right now. I think the church in these moments we have to avoid taking sides or to be overly emotional. I used to warn when we started God, church, and politics. My
Mm.
take was always when everybody else was excited about Tonse, and I said, I want to remain in the middle because I know what politics and power can do to people.
And
So,
I can tell you're still in the middle where
yeah,
we're trying to push
yes,
this thing to
yes.
get
And
to
I,
its place.
I love Dr. Laz and I love Dr. Chilima. But at the same time, my calling as a minister is to speak the truth, is to bring light because we are the light bearers. We are not just the light, but we are also the light bearers. We are also the fire starters. Okay, as a church, Paul is talking to Timothy before he dies, and he said, "Stir up or flame up
The gift.
yeah, that are in you, the fire that is already in you. Do not let the fire go out." So this is the church. Second Timothy 3:3 says that we are the epistles, we are the letters, we are the solutions and the answers to this world. Okay, when the world is devoid or is running out of answers and solutions, they should be able to pivot and look at it bride of Christ and find answers. But when they look at us, they shouldn't find corruption in us. We have to really show the nature of Christ. So we have to stand on the truth and speak the word,
And this
stand for
is,
justice, and
Minister
that's it.
Mahara, this
Yes,
is the position of the church for real. You know, where you say that I don't take sides. This is the position of the
yes,
church where we shouldn't take sides, because if we are drawn much into the government, and when they begin to mess up, we may completely be blindfolded and completely lose our position. Our position is to enforce that the will of God happens in a nation, isn't it?
yes. You and me, Pastor Chance. We have spoken about the things. That sad reality
Yeah.
that we have had our fathers, very anointed, gifted, powerful men of God. You can't even disqualify or discount about the anointing and the gifting that they carry. But we also know how they ended.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
start getting into these spaces, there's some sort of power that sucks the air out of them, and then they
Out.
get corrupt. Money, they want power, they want influence, and then they lose the sword that they carry. They lose that light, the oil that was in them vanishes. So we have to be careful this time around to understand that we have a higher calling. I love the way the word in Revelations 1, the Bible says, now we are both kings, priests,
And
and
priests.
and prophets. See, so we are the ones. If you understand, kings in the Bible it's a twofold meaning in the Bible, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We are the ones in. I love the way Proverbs 25:2 says that is for God to conceal certain things, but it's for the kings to search.
To
So
search
we are the
out
ones
for a
that
matter.
search out. Yeah. We have to guide those that are blinded. We have to walk in revelation knowledge and pave way and give, understanding and knowledge to those that need to follow. Yes,
So
sir.
mainly we should not. So mainly we should not. We should not doze on this one. We shouldn't. Because what you're just saying here is affirming that we should not lose our position. Otherwise, then we lose the whole aspect of enforcement. In a way, I believe that as a Christian, I'm an enforcement officer. Where I
Yes.
pray for them, but then I have to see this being actioned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I pray for them, but I want to see this actioned. So this is the position of the church.
Yes, the church has to be the light. The church has to be the salt. The church, we have to always stand in the truth. And I love the way the Bible says in Psalms 89:14 says, God governs himself with righteousness and justice. This is our position. If you want to see how God would want us to move as a church, we have to always side with justice. We always have to side with righteousness. So there's certain things that, like, I've been vocal, even the way we have been trying to handle the issue of refugees in Malawi. And it's something that, it's a departure from that position when we
Amen.
say,
I mean, listen.
Did you freeze on me? Did you freeze up on me? Pastor Chance. Well, maybe I'll just have a monologue here. So
Can you hear me?
now I can hear you, but I lost you completely. I had lost you completely.
Minister Mahara, can you hear? Yeah, I know internet is completely, it's messed up here. But let's wind it up. Can you hear me very well? Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Right, my internet is completely done something else. Right. Now I know that I can hear you though. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'll tell you what, we're gonna wind this up. My internet has been an issue today. Apologies once again. I do not know what's the reason, but wind it up, Minister Mahara.
Yes.
If you may wind up with this from the audit report, just if you can wind it up a little bit. From the audit report, we've seen a bit some of the actions. Dr. Lars showed a way of how to do it if you catch the thief.
Yeah, very, very impressive.
Can you hear me?
Impressed. I can hear you. Very impressive, but I still want to know certain things because that report was not a full report. Okay.
This is something else. Anyway, people, I gotta end this.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a problem, Minister Mahara. Sorry, I gotta let you go. We're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to come back for this. But apologies for this. I will have to. I have to end this. Thank you very much once again. If you can still hear me, my side of Wi-Fi internet, something is not right. But thanks very much for if you stuck with us from the beginning and you were able to come in and out. Apologies once again. Can we call it that the devil is fighting? I don't know, but this is to do with internet. Hopefully that God will give us another opportunity to come and talk about these issues where we are strengthened and know that something is happening. Malawi is on the right path, and God is helping us to be a nation. God is helping us to do the right things. And let's pray. Let's keep on praying for the people on the ground, that God will keep giving them an insight into what ought to be done. And for those that need to act, let them act without fear. You know, this is not a small thing. In the case of Martha Chizuma, who's the SCB director, Anti-Corruption Bureau, or ANTI, whatever it is, you may say it, but this is not a small thing. To get out and get the thief locked up, it's not easy. We've seen the past SCBs who have failed somehow because it's overwhelming, sometimes threatened by those in authorities and threatened by those in power, if you like. And most of the times it's been the leaders, the presidents, the top man. But thankfully we've got Dr. Laz, whose wish is, find me a thief, lock him up. This is Chance. I'll see you next week, and I hope you have a great weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye.